Hello and welcome to Shubham's Origami World. Today's video is not a model tutorial but rather a demonstration of how I prepare my papers for origami. I am making this video because many times people DM me on my Instagram account or comment on my YouTube videos asking me that from where I get these papers or how I treat my papers for origami. So, first of all, it is my own result of experimentation what I'm going to teach you here. It is not a definite method that all other origami artists use. So, let me make that clear first. Okay, this is just a local solution which is hassle free. You are not going to need a glass sheet or surface, you're not going to need MC, just some basic materials that you can find near your stationery stores. This is particularly helpful for those Indian origami artists or people who want to try origami but are unable to get these like double tissues or other papers from origami shop or other online stores. So if you want a local solution, then this video is going to be helpful for you. Also, if you like this method and if you find it helpful, please don't forget to like this video, share with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Okay, let me first show you the result of this experimentation. Each model that you can find on my Instagram account or on my website, every pic of models you see is made from the paper which I'm going to show you. So this peacock, for example, this dancing peacock design, you can see the texture is very neat, the paper is easily shapeable and it's quite sturdy. Others are like this ladybug which I designed recently and shared tutorial on my channel, is also made using the same paper. This Pegasus, you see, it's quite easy to shape and it's quite sturdy. This herringbone cobra or naga, I should say. Or lastly, if you're wondering about complex models, because these were all high intermediate to low intermediate models, then I've also folded Shuki Kato's Brachiosaurus from this paper as well. And the result is quite satisfactory. It was easy to fold with this paper and it's quite sturdy. Please don't notice these polka dots, I just added them after the fold. Okay, so I believe the reason is quite enough to try out this method. I'm also trying other experimentations right now and I will share them in future videos if I find any one result to be very useful. And also one more thing, in case you're not able to find the butter paper and kite papers from your nearby stores, then I have shared Amazon links in this video description. So go and purchase from those links. They are tried and tested papers. Even the kite papers provided in the link are of non-bleeding type, so they are not gonna easily lose their color. So make sure to purchase from those links in case you're not able to find them from your nearby stores. So first let me describe what are we going to need. The most important ingredient for this method is butter paper. You can see, you can easily find this kind of butter paper sheet from any stationery store. It's similar to tracing paper but with this white texture. It's not exactly transparent, translucent actually. This one is smooth and slippery. So these sheets come usually with the size of 50 semi cross 70 semi, which is quite large in itself. Then the other ingredient, the color component, is this kite paper. You can easily find kite papers from your nearby kite stores. You can ask them whether they sell loose papers or not. Otherwise, in stationery also, because these kite papers are similar or equivalent to the single tissue paper. Okay, so we also need them. I'm having various colors over here. So main two papers which we are going to need here are kite paper and this butter paper. Okay. Then we will require Fevicol, white glue, a brush, scissors, any palette, water, and a newspaper to protect your tables, not a glass sheet. You can also use glass sheet, it's no problem. Okay, so we need to first cut a square sheet or a particular portion from this butter paper and square sheets of required size from these kite papers. Okay, for example, if I want to fold a model which requires a 20 cross 20 semi square, then I will cut that square from these kite papers and a square of, let's say, 25 semi or more from this butter paper. Okay, the idea is to always keep the size of butter paper more than that of the square of this kite paper. All right, so I have already cut the required sizes, so I am keeping these large sheet aside. Here I have cut a 15 cross 15 semi from this tissue or kite paper, and there is this 18 semi of butter paper. Now I will require that newspaper as a base. So that you don't mess up with the table. Now we need to prepare a Fevicol plus water paste. I am not using MC because I have not tried MC with this method. So take required amount of Fevicol and just approximately add very little amount of water because we just want to make this paste a little bit thinner. So I will just mix them with a brush like this. I need to add more Fevicol. There is no approximate value or consistency for this. You just need to take Fevicol according to the size of paper you are using and water accordingly to just make it a little bit thin so that we can easily apply it. That's the idea. So I think this is fine. Okay. We'll switch this side. Now we need to apply Fevicol on butter paper because it is quite slippery and smooth, so Fevicol will be easily applied throughout. Okay, we cannot do this on this paper because tissue paper are very notorious because they bleed. Now what is bleeding? Whenever you apply MC or Fevicol plus water paste on them, then they tend to lose their color. This is termed as bleeding and they are known as bleeding papers because they bleed, they lose the color. So we will not apply anything on them, we will apply everything on butter paper. That's why this is the main ingredient. Okay, so I'm just first, before that you will need a roller. And if you are wondering where you can get one, if you have ever used those aluminum foils, then when the foil is used up completely, this is left behind. Very useful, this cardboard roller. You just have to roll the kite paper on this. Roll it accurately. Now, putting that aside, it's not accurate yet. Yeah, now fine. Now I will just apply some Fevicol on the tracing paper. Now you do not need to go all the way, just apply to initial part first, to this side. If your paste is very thick, then Fevicol will dry soon, so make sure to add sufficient water, but not that much water that Fevicol loses its adhesive property. Okay, now I'm just slowly pasting this tissue paper like this. Use the brush wherever needed to apply throughout. Okay, and then keep on repeating the steps. The reason why I have taken a larger butter paper is because when you roll the tracing paper, it can get slanted, or you are not sure you're going to be completely straight all the time. So it can sometime get out of the scope of butter paper, which is not required. That's why we are taking a larger butter paper sheet, so that there are no problems with accuracy. Okay, we will be easily able to cut it out. Last part remaining. And it's done. You can roll around. So just use this roller to completely flatten and roll around, and make sure that the corners are properly pasted. Along with the edges. You can also at the same time try to treat this paper with this Fevicol and water paste, but if the paper you have got tends to bleed much, then avoid that. Now in this method, because we have applied the paste to this tissue butter paper, the bleeding is very less, very less. Okay, so this is a single treated tissue. When you want to fold those complex models which have only one color, that is not duo color models, then you can use this sheet. Just cut out the square of required size, and you are ready to go after drying it. Okay, now let's say you want to fold a dual colored model like this, then you require another color on this side. So when this dries, you can repeat the same process on other side. Take another kite paper, a square paper of this, and then roll that on the roller and start pasting on it like this. If you are worried about accuracy losses, then use the size bigger than this one. For example, we have taken 15 semi here, we can take that 16 semi or more, and then try to roll over it, paste it, and then you will get a sandwich paper. Why a sandwich paper? Because there are actually 3 sheets. The butter paper is going to be between those 2 kite papers, so that's why a sandwich paper. So this model is basically made from that sandwich paper. Okay, and this Shukikato's Brachiosaurus is made from this single one, this double paper, because it was having only one color throughout. Okay. Once it dries, the result is going to be quite crispy. You will have fun folding it. Now again, this method is not the one used by other origamists. It's just a local solution, hassle-free solution for making these papers. Okay, you can always try those with glass surfaces and MC for super complex models, because for that they are the best choice. But if you are into intermediate folding or low complex models, and you do not have time or money to purchase those papers or do a lot of preparations or treatment, then I think this solution is going to be fine, because it works for me. You can watch the images of my models folded from this paper on my Instagram handle or on my website. The link is in the description. Or even can watch other tutorials of this model, like this ladybug or this Pegasus, so that you can see this paper in action, because I have used the same paper in the tutorial as well. Alright, so I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing if you find this helpful. Bye bye. Oh, and also one more important thing. Someone also asked me that whether we can directly paste two kite papers together instead of using this butter paper. The answer is no, because as I mentioned previously, these paper lose color, they bleed. So when you directly apply this paste on them, the moment you apply it, they are going to get bleed. And at the same time, they will not handle this Fevicol particularly well, because they are not smooth like this tracing paper. So Fevicol will dry up early. Also, even if you paste them together, due to bleeding, their colors are gonna get kind of mixed and will appear on either side, so which is not desirable. That is the reason, another reason of using this tracing paper, because it keeps both the colors, both the papers separate, and it results in preventing the mixing of their colors. So that's why it is essential. Okay, and it's quite thin, so it's not going to affect the overall thickness of paper much, so you can easily use it. Okay, all right, so that's all. Thank you for watching again, and bye bye. See you in the next video.